Konnichiwa. Welcome to this video, which is the 13th lesson of the basic Japanese series for beginners. You will learn some commonly used e-adjectives like small, big, tall, short, etc. in Japanese. You will also learn a few adverbs like very and not so much, and a few interrogatives like what kind of, which is used to ask the characteristics of a thing or a person. And by the end of this lesson, you will be able to use all of them and frame sentences on your own. So please watch it till the end. Let me begin with some words which will be used later on to form sentences in this lesson. The first one is mura, which means village. Next is machi, which means town or city. Next is tokoro, which means place. Next is mise, which means shop or store. Next is shukudai, which means homework. And the last one is shiken, which means exam. It is not shiken, but has to be pronounced as shiken. Next, let me go to the main topic, which is adjectives. In Japanese, there are two types of adjectives, e-adjectives and na-adjectives. You will learn about e-adjectives in this lesson. E-adjectives are the ones ending with e, and the sound preceding e is either a, e, u, or o. It'll be easy if you remember them in pairs. The first pair is oki and chisai. Oki means big and chisai means small. Next is atsui and samui. Atsui means hot and samui means cold or chilly. These are used to describe the weather, say for example the heat during summers and the cold during winters. Next is muzukashi and yasashi. Muzukashi means difficult and yasashi means easy. Next is takai and yasui. Takai means expensive and yasui means cheap. Let us learn some more pairs. Next is atarashi and furui. Atarashi means new and furui means old. Next is atsui and sumetai. Atsui means hot. If you remember, it came earlier with samui. But here, the kanji, which is the Chinese character, is different. The reading is the same, but the meaning is different. This atsui is used to describe the temperature of food, drinks, etc. Say for example, hot coffee. On the other hand, sumetai means cold and is also used to describe the temperature of food, drinks, etc. Say for example, cold water. Next is e or yoi and varui. E and yoi both mean good and varui means bad. Next is takai and hikui. Takai also means tall or high. Say for example, somebody's height. On the other hand, hikui means short or low. As you can see, all these e adjectives end in e, which is written in hiragana. In fact, if you have watched my previous video on colors, you would have learned the adjective forms of different colors like akai, aoi, shiroi, etc. They are also e-adjectives. Next, let us learn two more e-adjectives and see how to form the negative. Oishi means tasty and omoshiroi means interesting. To form the negative of e-adjectives, replace the last letter e with kunai. So, the negative of oishi will be oishi kunai, which means not tasty. And the negative of omoshiroi will be omoshiro kunai, which means not interesting. On similar lines, not cheap will be yasu kunai. I hope it is clear. Next, let us see how to use these adjectives to form sentences. In Japanese, an adjective which modifies a noun is put before the noun. Let me give you an example. Oki means big and machi means city. To say big city in Japanese, it will be oki machi. Now, to say Osaka is a big city, in Japanese, it will be Osaka wa oki machi desu. Let me give you another example. Atarashi means new and mise means shop. To say this is a new shop, in Japanese, it will be Kore wa atarashi mise desu. Now, to say this shop is not good, we have to use the negative of good, that is, the negative of yoi. By replacing the last letter e of yoi with kunai, we will get yo kunai. So the Japanese sentence will be Kono mise wa yokunai desu. The negative of e is yokunai, and this is an exception which you have to remember. Let me give you another example. Muzukashi means difficult and shiken means exam. To say today's exam is not difficult, in Japanese it will be Kyou no shiken wa muzukashi kunai desu. Next, let us learn two adverbs which we can use with these adjectives. The first one is totemo, which means very, and it is used before an adjective to emphasize its meaning. Let me give you an example. Atsui means hot and kyo means today. To say it is very hot today, let us add totemo before atsui. So in Japanese, it will be kyo wa totemo atsui desu. The next adverb is amari, which means not so much. It is used in a negative sentence with a verb or an adjective that functions as a predicate. Let me give you an example. to say it is not hot today, in Japanese, it will be Kyou wa atsuku nai desu. To say it is not so hot today, let us add amari before atsuku nai. So, in Japanese, it will be Kyou wa amari atsuku nai desu. Now, to say it is not so hot in India now, let us replace kyo with indo and add ima, which means now. So, in Japanese, it will be Indo wa ima amari atsuku nai desu. Next, let us learn two interrogatives which will be useful in daily conversation. The first one is donna, which means what kind of. In fact, it has already come in my previous video on colors. Donna is an interrogative word used to ask the characteristic or the nature of a thing or person and is placed in front of the noun. Let me give you an example. Hito means person. If I want to ask what kind of person is Mr. Aoki, in Japanese, the question will be Aoki-san wa donna hito desu ka? Now, to ask what kind of place is Hawaii, let us replace Aoki-san with Hawaii and hito with tokoro. So in Japanese, the question will be Hawaii wa donna tokoro desu ka? The next interrogative is do, which means how about something or how do you like something. It is an interrogative word used to ask an impression or the state of a person or a thing. Let me give you an example. Gakko means school and atarashi means new. If I want to ask, how do you like your new school? In Japanese, the question will be, Atarashi gakko wa dou desu ka? Now, to ask an opinion about Japanese company, let us replace Atarashi gakko with Nihon no kaisha. So, in Japanese, the question will be, Nihon no kaisha wa dou desu ka? Next, let us learn how to translate simple English sentences to Japanese. The first sentence is, it is not cold in South Korea now. You know that South Korea is Kankoku, now is ima, cold is samui, and its negative is samukunai. So the translation will be, Kankoku wa ima samukunai desu. Let us go to the second sentence. You know that Japan is Nihon, car is kuruma, and expensive is takai. Since it is a question, it has to end with ka with a rising intonation. So the translation will be Nihon no kuruma wa takai desu ka? Let us go to the third sentence. You know that India is Indo, movie is Eiga, and to ask an impression or opinion, we have to use the interrogative do desu ka? So the translation will be Indo no eiga wa do desu ka? Let us go to the fourth sentence. In the previous lesson, you learned that green is midori, bag is kaban, and whose is dare no. So the translation will be Kono midori no kaban wa dare no desu ka? Let us go to the fifth sentence. You know that today is kyo, homework is shukudai, difficult is muzukashi, and the adverb very is totemo, which has to come before the adjective. So the translation will be Kyo no shukudai wa totemo muzukashi desu. Let us go to the sixth sentence. You know that city is machi, and what kind of is donna. Donna has to be followed by the noun. So the translation will be Nagoya wa donna machi desu ka? Let us go to the seventh sentence. You know that Japan is Nihon, food is tabemono, tasty is oishi, and the adverb not so is amari, which is used in a negative sentence and it has to come before the adjective. So the translation will be Nihon no tabemono wa amari oishiku nai desu. Let us go to the last sentence. You know that book is hon, interesting is omoshiroi, and the adverb not so is amari. So the translation will be Kono hon wa amari omoshiroku nai desu. When you have time, please try to practice with different adjectives. So that is it for now. I hope this video was useful. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. And if you found the video good, give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.